So in this particular lecture, we are going to understand the concept of characteristics of cloud computing. That means we are going to understand what are the different features or characteristics which are included in the cloud computing. So let's start with this, that I have just initiated, and I have included all the characteristics mainly in this particular slide, and I have mentioned it as the main characteristics are, the first one is called as the great availability of resources, right? Great availability of resources, this is the first characteristics, or we can also call it as resource pooling. See, we are just going to elaborate on these particular characteristics one by one, and before that we are just going to see what are these. Next one is on demand self service. Third one is easy maintenance. Fourth one is large network access. It is also called as broad network access. You know, in different books, in different internet sources, we find different versions, that is either large network access or broad network access. Next one is called as the availability. Then we have automatic system, economical, security, and pay as you go. So see, when you are going to find these particular characteristics, there can be number of characteristics which can be included in one, as pay as you go and economical can be included in one. So there is no exact mention of the number of features, but we should include all the features. That is the main concept, right? So starting up with this, we are going to first talk about the resource pooling. This is the first and the greatest and the most attractive feature of cloud computing, that is called as the resource pooling, and the maximum availability of resources. That means the resources are available for all the clients in cloud computing, right? So resource pooling, what does actually pooling means? Pooling means, or it is the concept of sharing of resources, right, with multiple clients. That is the pool. We have just taken an example for you to understand it clearly. Let's say you are going to hire a taxi. You have let's say Uber, and Uber, you have one way is you can hire a taxi all alone, and the second option is you can hire a taxi, or you can hire a taxi in which you can do the sharing. So which one is more economical, you would say? For you, the first option will be the option in which you are going to hire the rental taxi for your own purpose. Only you will be the client or the customer for that particular taxi. But in the second option, where you are sharing the resources, where you are actually sharing the seat in this particular taxi, that means this is more economical. You are going to only pay for your seat, right? You are not going to pay for the complete rental of this particular taxi, but you are only going to pay for the seat which you are using, and to the source and destination from which you are being picked up and from to which you are being dropped off, right? So resource pooling is what? When multiple clients are using a particular resource, that is called as the resource pooling, right? So it is also called as the multi-tenancy strategy, where multiple tenants, actually these particular customers are termed to be as the tenants. Tenants means they are renting the resources, and there can be a one physical system which is being shared by multiple clients, and you are not being aware of that particular thing. So great availability of resources or resource pooling, this is the concept we have in cloud computing, and this is the most attractive feature. Resource pooling, now we are going to see it in the detailed version, as what is the definition and how it is being defined. Resource pooling means that a cloud service provider can share resources among several clients, providing everyone with a different set of services as per their requirements, right? So that means all the customers can contact the customer service provider, cloud service provider. In fact, it can be iCloud, it can be Google, or it can be Amazon services, AWS, Amazon Web Service, right? So the clients can contact the cloud service provider, and this service provider can share the resources with multiple clients according to their needs and according to their requirements, right? Because every client can have different set of requirement for the resources. They can need different set of resources, but they can be provided from a same by the same physical provider, right? So it is also called as I have told you, it is also called as multi-tenancy strategy. It is also called as multi-client strategy. Basically, it is one and the same thing. Multi-tenancy because multiple tenants are renting the resources. Here we are calling them as clients because they are the customers or the clients for the cloud providers. This is the strategy that can be applied to data storage services, processing services, bandwidth provided services. So this particular service can be of anything. It can be for the memory usage, that is data storage service. It can be for the use of renting the CPUs, that is processing services, or it can be for the network bandwidth, right? So any type of service can be availed with the help of this particular service providers. The administration process of allocating resources in real time doesn't conflict with the client's experience. So actually multiple clients are there, but one client will not be aware of the thing that other clients are also using those particular resources, because that is completely different experience. Now, moving towards the second characteristic or feature of cloud computing is on-demand self-service. Again, this is very important and very valuable feature by the cloud computing we have is what it is on demand. As the terminology is explaining itself, that on-demand self-service means the customer can select resources, whatever resources they are in need of, right? So customer can select the resources needed, and it is not necessary that they have to use fixed amount of resources and they have to rent fixed amount of resources for all the time. No, there is one more feature, that is the customer can access the resources at any time from anywhere, right? And the other feature is they can upgrade and downgrade services anytime. That means in a specific time duration, they feel that now they do not need this much resources or that much of memory. They can slow down, they can reduce the scale, or they can downgrade this particular service. They can also upgrade according to their need. So this is a very attractive feature for the customer. Just think of it that you are just selecting the resources, whatever resources you need, and you can scale it up or down whenever and wherever it is required. So this is very economical basically, right? Now, next thing is easy maintenance. Now, just moving towards the first lecture, I have already explained you that if there are two options, if we are going to set up our own IT premises or IT infrastructure, then it will include more of cost. First of all, the cost of infrastructure needed, and second, the cost of maintenance of all these services. You need to hire what? You need to hire the technical support staff. You need to hire the managers. You need to hire the different technical people. So hiring will again include what? It will again include cost. So in terms of cloud computing, we are not, we are not pointing out that we will not be concerned about the maintenance part. We do not have to be worried about the maintenance. The cloud computing providers are going to take the headache of maintenance, and the maintenance is very easy as the servers are easily maintained. So the downtime is very low in cloud computing services. And in fact, if we talk about the private services, then downtime is very high. And if downtime is not very high, then what it is needed. It will include more of cost, it will include more of infrastructure, it will include more of technical people who can troubleshoot and who can provide the servers which are up every time, right? Next one, the cloud computing comes up with an update every time by gradually making it better. So whenever you are using, if you are using a software, you do not have to worry about upgrading the software. It will be upgraded on its own. So this is not your headache. So in this way, maintenance becomes so easy for the customers or the clients. The updates are more compatible with devices and perform faster than older ones, along with the bugs which are fixed. So this is how the maintenance is easy, because the clients do not have to worry about the maintenance of the software or about the services or about the server. That is being taken care by the provider. Next, moving on to the next feature, that is called as large a network access, or it is also called as broad network access. Now, what does this mean? That means the the person or the client can access the server services from anywhere at any point of time. The only thing they need is they need to have the internet facility and they need to have their own device, and they can share those particular resources or services with other people also if ever they want. So the user can access the data of the cloud or upload the data to the cloud from anywhere just with the help of a device on an internet connection. You all are aware of, you all use Google Photos, right? What is that? That is, again, you are storing your photos on the Google Cloud, right? You can share those particular photos with other people also. The only thing they need is they need internet and they need the device, and you can access those particular photos maybe from any device and from anywhere if you are residing anywhere globally. So these are the features which are enhancing the point of attraction for the cloud computing. These capabilities are available all over the network and accessed with the help of internet. Earlier, we all know that we were using photos. What you used to do, we used to click the photos, and we used to, once the memory is full of our phone, then we need to delete those particular photos, right? So now what we are doing, we are just sharing, we are just using that particular Google Cloud, Google Photos, for uploading those particular photos and storing it as a backup, and can be used whenever and wherever required. You can download those particular photos. Moving towards the next point, that is called as the scalability. Now, this is again one more feature which we just talked about, upgrading and downgrading the services we need, right? So the capabilities of the cloud can be modified as needed and extend a lot. That means if any point of time we need to rent more data storage, more memory, then we can modify that particular requirement whenever we need it, right? It analyzes the storage usage and allows the user to buy extra storage if needed for a very small amount. This service is available anytime and can be accessed from anywhere. So this is the major point of scalability. That means you can upgrade or downgrade according to the requirement. Next one is the automation. Now, what is this automation? Automation is cloud computing automatically analyzes the data needed and supports a metering capability at some level of services. That means whatever the data you are using, whatever the services you are using, that is being analyzed automatically, and we are using a meter. They are using a meter to check the services, what services and at what level you are using, and there is a transparency of this between the host, that is the cloud providers, and the customer, and which is very important part, right? Next, we talk about the next feature, that is called as the security. Now, when we talk about security, this is again important feature, and it creates a snapshot of data stored so that The data may not get lost even if one of the server damages. Let's say we have stored our data and that particular server damages or causes any down failure, then what happens? Our data is not there? No, it is there. Why it is there? Because the snapshots of data is being created at other servers and that is being backed up. So you are secure with your data. Your data is secure. The storage service is quick and reliable, which can access from anywhere just with the help of a device and internet connection. So this is a boom line that you can access with the help of just a device and the internet availability. Now, pointing out to very important feature again, that is pay as you go. As the name itself suggests, that pay as you go means whatever you are using, you are paying only for that. So what it is in cloud computing, the user has to pay only for the services or the space they have utilized. It is not that they have asked for 1 terabyte memory, so they will be every time they will be charged for 1 terabyte. No, if you are using 100 GB, then for 100 GB you are being charged, and if you are using 1 terabyte, then other day you will be charged for 1 terabyte. So this is very important feature. That means it makes it more economical when it is saying that pay as you go. So there is no hidden cost or extra charges. You get a detailed version of bill in which the complete scenario is defined, where it is written that whatever service at which day and how much you have utilized or used. The service is economical and most of the time some space allows for free. So this is how it makes it more economical due to pay as you go. That is, it is one-time investment. As the company is hosting, has to buy the storage, and a small part of it can provide to many companies, which can save the host from monthly and yearly costs. Only the amount which spends on the basic maintenance and few more expenses are considered. So from the perspective of host, also from the perspective of cloud provider also, we are seeing that it is economical because it is one-time investment and few more expenses are included due to basic maintenance, right? Because you are renting your services and you are attaining those particular amount from different clients. So this is being economical, right? So this is all for this particular characteristics. Thank you.